welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider, the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwel alongside Paul Goebel. And Coach, tennis kind of wrapping up for the fall, winter, but spring will be here quick enough. But you come off a pretty neat end to the fall. You had an individual, and we'll talk about that first before we get into what happened up at Vanderbilt. In a freshman, Andrew Watson, one of 32 players to get to go to the ITA Championships this year, and had a really nice performance, made it all the way to the consolation quarterfinals. Explain that tournament, how you get there.
You know, it was just a very successful fall season altogether for our whole team. You know, we came in with a bunch of new guys, had a lot of freshmen on the team, weren't sure what to expect, but they got out there and competed great. And it was a great ending to our fall when Andrew Watson won our regional championships, which was at Vanderbilt this year. And there are 12 regions in the country, and each one of the winners of those regional tournaments qualify for the national indoors. So he qualified by winning the regional championship. He was the first individual player we've ever had that, you know, won that tournament. And we got to go up to New York City. You know, weren't sure what to expect there, but he played fantastic. Had a great win against Ohio State University. Barely lost his last match to a guy from Stanford, but just really, really good experience for him, and just a great way for us to finish the fall season.
Of course, the rest of the team was up the road in Nashville at Vanderbilt.
Sure.
Talk about how that went for you.
Yeah, that was a very good tournament too. Vanderbilt had all their team in there. A lot of other great teams, SEC teams. Alabama had some top players, and you know, we're right there competing with all those teams, which is where we want to be. These fall tournaments, it's a lot more individualized, so it's not really team against team. It's more individuals trying to get your ranking higher, and the more individuals you have ranked, then the better your team ranking will become this January.
You mentioned the newcomers. You lost so many veterans from a year ago, and that group that really got things rolling for you. Where is this group this year? Is it about where you expected, or are they ahead of where you thought they'd be?
You know, I think in many ways we're ahead of where I thought we'd be right now. Coming in August, I wasn't sure what, I was, hoping we had a lot of learning to do, but I feel like as far as the tournament play, when they came into competition, they really played well. And that's something that it's not always easy to coach that. And so to see that, they like the competition, they like competing, that's really going to help and bode well for us in the spring. We had to work a lot on our conditioning this fall. Sometimes freshmen come in, they haven't had as tough of a strength and conditioning schedule in the juniors, so we, really implemented a real good conditioning program. I think it's benefited them a lot, and I'm really excited, this off season, they have to maintain that now, and then we'll see how we do in the spring.
I guess the fact that especially the newcomers are ahead of where you thought they'd be is really a credit to a lot of your players that are no longer here, because as they built this thing with being competitive in the conference, winning some championships, getting to the NCAA, it allowed you, when you went out and recruiting your staff, to recruit a higher grade of an athlete.
That's right. The former players did a fantastic job. They built this thing. We, kind of sustained some, very good standards, making 3 NCAA tournaments in a row. We've been in 3 conference championships in a row, and so now these new players come in. We're able, like you said, to get some better ones. But they come in with some high expectations, and they want to keep that going.
On the front of recruiting, there was an early signing class. You got a couple in here that's been released. If you want more information, go to GoTigersGo.com and check out the tennis page. But briefly, just tell us about Felix Rausch and Chris Patsanovsky.
Yeah, we're super excited to have both Felix and Chris. They're both coming from Germany, ranked very high, have some very, very good results. Both in their country and internationally. We love the fact that they both really, really like tennis. It sounds funny, but we just want people that want to play, want to keep improving, see how good they can be. They have some very high aspirations, both for their college and beyond. So, and they're really fun people to be around too. So, they're going to really fit in well. I think they're going to gel with our team, and we just can't wait to have them.
All right, Coach. You mentioned. It's not really a dead period, but the Christmas break,
right.
the holiday break coming up before you get back into action in the spring. How much contact can you have with them? What access do they have to the tennis center over at the Racket Club? Because you mentioned keeping their conditioning, their strength and conditioning is going to be paramount going into the spring.
Right. The answer is not a whole lot of contact, to be honest. So,
it's hard in the spring they come back.
It's a hard time for a coach, to be honest. But that's once again goes with our philosophy of trying to find players that truly love the sport, truly love playing. And I think for individual sports, as we are, the players are used to playing year round. They're not really used to long off seasons. They're wanting to play. They're wanting to practice. This is kind of a tough time for them too, because they're really wanting us to coach them, even though we can't have the contact. But they do go out and practice on their own. They're all going to go home over the holidays, and they have places to practice and work out and to keep it going. So they know that when we get back, we get straight into the season. So they may take a few days and a little break, but they're going to keep working hard.
Well, you mentioned getting right back into it in January when you come back, and you're going to play in what looks like it's going to be a tough one, the ITA Kickoff over in Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah, that's the national indoors. They started that about 5 or 6 years ago, and the top 60 teams from last year get into this national indoors. And you kind of choose to where you go. The top 15 teams get to host, and so we're going to play at Duke. University is the host, but we get to play Clemson first round, and then Duke and Wake Forest play, and we'll play the winner of that or the loser, depending on how we do. So you guarantee 2 matches, but all the teams will be right around top 25, even potentially top 10 for a couple of them. So it's going to be a really tough test for us. But I like starting that way to kind of see where we are right to start the season.
Tell us a little bit more about the spring, especially the home schedule. I know you've got a Baylor coming in for the home schedule, and you've really built the schedule up over the last few years.
It's an exciting time because it's taken a while to get some really good, top-ranked teams to come play us. So Baylor's going to be, potentially top 5 in the country to come play us. We have, other very good conference opponents that are ranked, non-conference teams. So, it's probably the most home matches we've played and the best quality we've had too at home. So we're really excited. It's going to be a tough test, though. We got a lot of top-ranked teams, but that's what this program's about now, and we're really excited.
And I know it's early because you probably haven't seen the teams unless you've been in a fall tournament with them. But what do you think about the conference this season?
Yeah, I think it's better. with the new additions. Tulsa, East Carolina, Tulane, all have very good tennis teams. So, I think with those teams and then the teams that are returning, South Florida's, really loaded. They didn't lose anybody, and they won the conference last year. So SMU's much improved. Central Florida's always good. So, it's going to be an exciting conference. I think it's pretty open. I think, it's a very deep conference. So, definitely important to play well, prepare January, February, so when we start conference play in March, we're ready to go.
All right, Coach. Well, as always, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Try to enjoy that holiday break. I'm sure they'll come back in shape.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. That is head coach Paul Goebel. I'm Jeff Brightwel. This is the Wolfchase Toyota Insider of the Memphis Tiger Network.